Thanks, Nat. Australian officials are currently pushing China to act on this man accused of throwing hot coffee on a baby in Brisbane almost a year ago. Right after the alleged nightmare attack, he fled the country back home to China, where he's protected from extradition under Chinese law. Now, there are fears justice will never be served for young baby Luca, who is still enduring regular surgeries for severe burns. Let's bring in Dr. David Craig, former Australian Federal Police officer. Great to have you with us. Now, you're saying that this man is likely to walk away scot-free. Take us through that.
Well, the problem here, good morning, Sherbo, good morning, everybody. The problem here is how seriously China is going to take it. China can actually agree to extradite one of its citizens back to Australia. However, it has a mechanism where it can refuse to do so, and that's what it's using. The best outcome for baby Luca and her parents, his parents, is for the person to be prosecuted under domestic law in China. There are comparable laws, and China should be able to do that. Is it acceptable? If I was a Chinese Australian, I would be embarrassed by this, that the Chinese government seems to think it's acceptable for a person to throw hot water on a baby, flee the country and not face any justice.
Well, it's really interesting that you say that. If the roles were reversed, what would Australia do?
If Australia had that's a good question, Sherba. In Australia, if we did not extradite and we had a comparative domestic law, just a domestic law in Australia, the same as happened in China, that person would be prosecuted here in Australia. And that should happen here over there in China. We have a criminal prima facie case against this person for a horrible assault, causing permanent damage on an Australian citizen. The Chinese government could prosecute him under domestic law in China.
David, how concerned should we be that a Chinese national can come into Australia, can allegedly commit a crime like this, poor Luca, who is scarred for life, go back home and nothing happens?
Well, it's terrible. It's not the sort of justice that we accept, and I would hope that the Chinese government would feel some embarrassment or some need to actually see justice is served.
So if China does come to the party here, consent to bring him back to Australia, what happens then?
Then he would face the criminal charges that the Queensland Police and the Australian Federal Police have put together. If they don't, it would be completely acceptable, I think, for the Chinese government to prosecute this person in China, and that way they're not causing any diplomatic issues. There are comparable laws in China for assaulting minors, which is what this person allegedly did. So prosecuting him in China would be a satisfactory outcome. Okay. To have no outcome is not acceptable.
No, it's unacceptable. You're right. David Craig, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
Here's Nat.